All right, ready to dive deep?
Always.
Today, we're tackling, I think, one of the most talked about figures right
Oh,
now,
yeah.
Elon Musk.
Huge topic.
It's a huge topic.
Absolutely.
Whether you're cheering him on or maybe, rolling your eyes at his latest tweet,
Uh-huh.
he's someone who commands attention, that's for sure. And for this deep dive,
Yeah.
you guys have given us a really interesting collection of sources.
I was surprised.
I was surprised too.
By the variety.
By the range? Yeah. We've got some sharp political commentary.
Yeah.
Like Vouch and some more news, then a labor perspective with more perfect union,
Right. Yeah.
a tech-focused critique from Thunder Thero,
Uh-huh.
and even like some compiled notes that I think are trying to summarize this whole Musk backlash that's been happening.
Yeah, it's kind of everywhere you look.
It's everywhere. It's like everyone has an opinion and they're all pretty intense. So before we unpack all this, I'm curious, where do you stand on Elon Musk right now?
Ooh, good question.
Keep that in mind as we go, because what we're about to explore goes way beyond the usual headlines.
Like way beyond.
Way, way beyond.
Deep cuts
Deep cuts.
in the Elon Musk saga.
Yeah. It's remarkable how these sources, even with their distinct viewpoints, they all kind of circle around this central question: is Elon Musk truly the self-made genius his image often suggests? Like, is he?
Right.
That's the question. That whole started from the bottom, now we're here story. Well, some of these sources really poke holes in it.
Yeah, let's take Tesla, for example.
Yeah.
Many people, when they hear Tesla, they think Elon Musk.
They do, right.
He's the founder.
Just synonymous.
Synonymous.
Right.
But going through these sources, it's way more intricate than that.
Yeah.
Than that simple story. The real brains behind Tesla, at least initially, were these guys named Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning.
Okay.
And, Musk came in later. But he was very good
at what?
Steering the narrative.
It's like he saw the potential for a great story and made sure he was the main character.
100%. And he understood the power of public image from early on. There's this anecdote, I think, it's a small detail.
Okay.
But it reveals a lot. Musk sent an email.
Yeah.
And he was fuming about a BlackBerry ad that featured Eberhard.
Oh.
He felt overshadowed.
Yeah.
Even threatened.
Just by
someone else getting attention.
Interesting.
And it's tiny, but it reveals a lot about his mindset, don't you think?
It makes you wonder if that need for the spotlight, like if that played a role in some of the stuff we see later on.
Later on, yeah.
More controversial stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of which, the sources brought up some interesting tactics.
Yeah, interesting. Some eyebrow raising.
Eyebrow raising for sure.
That Musk has used. Like that situation with the government loan for Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
And a Daimler partnership.
Okay, so I think for anyone who's not, super up on all the financial details.
Yeah, it's complex.
Can you break down what happened there and why it's significant?
All right. So to get this loan that Tesla really needed, Musk did something kind of bold. He announced the approval of the loan publicly before Tesla even finished the application process.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
He just said it was a done deal.
Pretty much.
When it wasn't.
Yeah.
That's
some serious confidence. Or maybe just audacity. I don't know.
It's a fine line.
Yeah, it is a fine line.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
It worked.
It did.
That move instilled a lot of confidence in investors, like Daimler, the parent company of Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, wow.
And they partnered with Tesla.
So was it bending the rules?
I mean, you could say that.
You could.
But it was also really strategic.
Like brilliant.
Yeah, maybe even brilliant. So these sources leave us with this question. Was it genius or was it shady? And is there even a difference sometimes?
Ooh, that's a good question. Right.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about that, that line.
Yeah.
Between ambition and cutting corners.
And then there's the whole carbon credits thing.
Right, right.
Which I think, honestly, a lot of people probably don't even know about.
It's not talked about that much.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
So
essentially, these are permits that allow companies to pollute.
So Tesla was making a profit.
Yeah. For a while, a big chunk of their profit.
Not from selling cars.
Wasn't from selling cars.
Interesting.
It was from selling these carbon credits.
So they were profiting from a system that allows pollution to continue.
Kind of a contradiction.
Right.
It does seem like
a contradiction, yeah.
When you think about Tesla, it's this green.
Beacon of hope.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of complicates that, doesn't it?
I think it really does. Does it align with that image
That image.
that so many people have?
Or is it something else? Is it more
Opportunistic.
Opportunistic is a good word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people might be surprised to learn about that.
Yeah. Adds another layer to the story.
Yeah, for sure. And to Musk himself, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, on the one hand,
Yeah.
undeniably innovation
Right.
and this push for sustainable technology.
Right.
But then on the other, you have these business practices
Here you go.
that make you go,
Yeah.
a little side eye. It's a constant balancing act
Always.
between doing good and, well, maybe prioritizing profits above all else.
Right. And that tension
Yeah.
makes Elon Musk so captivating and unsettling.
He's a captivating figure for sure. All right, so we've got this picture of a complex businessman
Yeah.
who knows how to play the game, clearly comfortable in the spotlight. But things take an even sharper turn, I think, when we look at his political leanings.
Oh, yeah.
From what I'm seeing in these sources,
Yeah.
there's a pretty noticeable shift.
Big time.
It feels like a big shift.
It's highlighted, this distinct change in Musk's public persona, specifically aligning more and more with the right.
Like very specifically, Donald Trump.
Yes.
So the question is, why? Why would someone, known for pushing boundaries in tech, suddenly embrace a figure often seen as so divisive?
Yeah.
By some, even as regressive. What do the sources say about the possible motivations behind that shift?
One perspective is purely cynical.
Okay.
Some sources suggest, okay, maybe he's aligning himself
with
politicians who support policies that are good for his business.
Regardless of impact.
Wider impact.
Wow.
Yeah. So think tax cuts, deregulation, things like that.
Even if they come at the expense of social programs.
Exactly. It's about putting himself and his companies first.
Okay. So it's not even just about policy. It sounds like a clash of values, like how they see the world.
Yeah. And Musk has used some strong language when he talks about,
wokeness.
Wokeness.
That word gets thrown around so much. It's everywhere.
It's lost all meaning almost.
I think it has. So in this context, can we unpack it a little?
Let's try.
What does wokeness even mean here, and why is it such a rallying point for these figures?
Because it's become this catch-all.
Yeah.
To dismiss so many progressive ideas, social movements.
Yeah.
So they criticize things like social justice activism, inclusivity.
So it's like anything that challenges the status quo.
Basically, yeah.
For people like Musk and Trump, that represents a threat.
A huge threat.
With how they see the world.
To their worldview. Yeah, 100%. And Musk, he said some things.
Like what?
He claimed that the woke mind virus.
The woke mind virus.
Is pushing civilization to suicide.
Wow. That's pretty stark.
It is.
It's apocalyptic.
It is.
What does he even mean by that? Like, concretely?
He doesn't really explain.
It's like...
fear-mongering.
Fear-mongering.
But it's effective.
Yeah.
Because it rallies his followers. And you see this online.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
Like dismissing arguments they don't like.
Yeah, shutting down conversations.
Yeah, creating division.
Exactly.
It's a powerful rhetorical tool, to say the least. And when you combine that with someone who has Musk's level of influence and control over a massive platform.
Oh, yeah.
Like X.
Big yikes.
That's where things get
dicey.
Yeah.
Speaking of X.
We can't ignore it.
The elephant in the room. Or the X in the timeline.
Right.
Musk bought Twitter, now it's X. It was all about free speech.
Right.
But these sources, it's more complicated than that.
Way more.
It's almost paradoxical. He's a champion of free speech.
Right.
But he uses it to push his agenda.
Oh, interesting.
He endorses candidates. He attacks critics.
That's like he wants free speech.
For himself.
For himself, but maybe not so much for everyone else.
Yeah, not so much. He's sued organizations.
Really?
Critical of X. He's changed the rules on a whim, it seems like. Banned users that disagree with him.
There's that one example that really stands out to me.
Oh, yeah.
When he retweeted that post about a Hispanic invasion.
Well, that one.
Yeah, that one. And when people called him out saying it was promoting harmful stereotypes and maybe inciting violence.
Potentially, yeah.
His defense was...
I don't endorse everything I quote.
Really?
Yeah, that was it.
But it does kind of make you think...
It does.
Does he truly believe...
In free speech?
In free speech, yeah. Or is it more of a tool?
A tool, right. serves his interests?
It's a tough question.
Really tough
to answer.
Uh-huh.
But what's clear
is that there are consequences
to his actions.
Yeah. X has become a much more
hostile
environment.
Sure.
Way more hate speech, misinformation.
That's one of the most alarming things
Yes.
that I'm seeing in these sources.
Yeah.
It's a breeding ground.
For harmful content.
And Musk's behavior is contributing, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a reminder of the impact
Yeah.
of his words and actions.
Huge impact.
And the responsibility
that comes with it.
With having such a massive platform.
Yeah.
So we've covered his business moves, his political leanings, his control over X.
It's a lot.
Yeah. But there's another layer to this, something that emerges from these sources.
Okay.
It's a little more personal and honestly a bit unsettling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Yeah. So you're talking about some of these deeper concerns about Musk's worldview, specifically his focus on declining birth rates.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like an obsession almost.
He brings it up all the time.
Yeah, he does.
Urging his followers to have more kids.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, we need more high IQ people.
High IQ people.
Yeah.
So it's like certain people are more valuable.
More worthy of reproducing.
Wow, that's...
And that echoes some dangerous ideologies.
Like what?
Like eugenics.
Okay, can you explain that a little bit for people who might not be familiar?
Sure.
What is eugenics?
Essentially, it's this idea that we can improve the human race through selective breeding.
That's pretty disturbing.
And it was a movement.
It was.
Yeah, in the early 20th century.
Okay.
Used to justify horrific policies.
Really?
Like forced sterilization and discrimination against people they deemed unfit.
So it's a dark
chapter.
Dark chapter in history.
Yeah.
And to think that someone like Musk is...
flirting with those ideas.
Flirting with those ideas is...
It's troubling.
Yeah, it's troubling for sure. And it's not just that.
No.
Right? It's not just the birth rate issue. He's got this fascination with
genetic engineering.
And he frames regulating it as
the Hitler problem.
The Hitler problem. That's a loaded comparison.
Good, yeah.
It is. It makes you wonder what his deeper motivations are. Is he truly interested in using technology to enhance humanity?
Right.
Or is it about control?
Is it about control?
About shaping the future.
To his liking.
To his liking. Exactly. That's the question, right? That's what we're left grappling with.
I think it's crucial to consider this stuff because it reveals a lot about him and the potential consequences.
Absolutely. So we've covered a lot. His business moves, political leanings, control over X, but there's one big piece missing.
Oh, okay.
His ambition to colonize Mars. And that's where things get really interesting because it's not only technology, it's this grand vision.
Grandiose.
They're grandiose, yeah.
Of humanity's future. It's like science fiction come to life.
Yeah, it is.
Reusable rockets.
That's amazing.
Spacecraft, interplanetary. It's a testament to human ambition and ingenuity.
For sure.
And at the helm of this whole endeavor is Elon Musk. With his vision of making humanity a multiplanetary
species. Reading through these sources, I have to wonder about the motivation behind this whole Mars colonization thing. Is it just about pushing the boundaries of what's possible, or is there something more to it?
According to these sources, he sees Mars as a potential escape route.
An escape route?
Yeah.
From what?
Like, if things on Earth get really bad, climate change, global pandemic, maybe even rogue AI taking over.
So he's like, okay, we messed this planet up, let's just go find another one.
Yeah, pretty much.
But isn't that kind of like...
giving up on Earth?
Yeah, giving up on Earth.
That's a critique a lot of these sources bring up.
Yeah.
They argue, hey, we should be pouring our resources into solving problems here.
Yeah.
Not escaping to another planet.
Especially when you consider, like, the cost. The cost, yeah.
The resources. It's massive.
Yeah, it is.
Undertaking.
I get the appeal of, like, the exploration and new frontiers.
New frontiers, yeah.
But shouldn't we be focusing on
what we've
taking care of the one we've got?
It's complex ethically.
Yeah.
There's one hand, potential benefits, right? Scientific advancement, maybe finding resources, and, the survival of long term. Backup planet. But on the other hand, don't we have an obligation to the people who are here and now
suffering?
Yeah. So, these sources raise tough questions.
Yeah.
What is the true cost of colonizing Mars?
And not
just financial,
right,
but in terms of neglecting
Earth's problems.
Yeah. And who benefits from this whole thing? Is this a real solution?
Or is it
Or a billionaire's
escape fantasy? Right. It's interesting you bring up that idea of an escape fantasy because I'm noticing that theme in these sources.
Yeah.
They often connect
press ambition.
his ambition,
To this
techno-utopianism.
Techno-utopianism. Okay, break that down for me. What is that?
It's this belief
In what?
that technology will solve all of humanity's
Everything.
problems. We can engineer our way out of anything. And I get it.
Yeah.
Especially for someone like Musk.
Of course.
He's achieved so much
Incredible.
using technology.
Right.
But it's also an oversimplification, isn't it?
It is, because it ignores
The human stuff.
the human stuff. Yeah.
Like the political, the social.
The economic factors.
Because like create a gadget, everything's fixed.
We've had an app for that.
Yeah, exactly. And it overlooks unintended consequences.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of technology, of course. And ethical considerations.
Yeah, big time.
We got to be cautious.
Yeah, we do.
About putting too much faith.
In tech as a savior.
It's a tool.
It is. It's a tool.
Not a magic wand.
Right.
We need to be like
Thoughtful
about
how we use it.
100%.
And not just assume it'll solve everything.
Yeah. I think that's a crucial point.
It is.
For sure. To keep in mind when you're evaluating all these ventures, Tesla, SpaceX, his other projects.
Acknowledge the benefits. Sure. But question the assumptions.
Assumptions, the motives, and the potential
downside.
Okay, so after all this, are we any closer to answering the big question?
Ooh, the big one.
Visionary or villain?
You know, I think the more we dig into this stuff, the more complex it gets.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. He's innovative, driven. He's accomplished incredible things.
Right.
But he's also manipulative, controlling. You know, he uses his power to advance his own agenda, even if it hurts others.
It's like he's
walking contradiction.
A walking contradiction, yeah. He can inspire, but also, like...
concern.
Serious concern.
Right.
Okay.
That's one of the key takeaways, I think. You can't just slap a label.
On him,
right.
Yeah.
It's messy. You have to acknowledge
both sides.
his achievements and his flaws.
So it's really about...
It's about forming your own informed opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
No easy label, but these sources, they do point to this recurring pattern.
Oh, interesting.
This idea of techno-elitism.
Techno-elitism. Okay.
Yeah. What is that?
So it's this idea, right?
Yeah.
That those with exceptional, technological prowess, people like Elon Musk, they're not only capable of solving all the world's problems, but they have a right to,
elite.
To decide for the rest of us. It's like they're the chosen ones, the elite.
The tech-savvy elite.
The tech-savvy elite, exactly.
Who know what's best.
They know best.
For the rest of us.
For all of us.
Yeah.
It's not just about being good at tech.
No,
it's a mindset.
Yeah.
That you're entitled.
To lead. Because of your tech skills.
Yeah.
The rest of you just don't get it, so step aside.
Yeah. Let us handle it.
Let the geniuses handle things. Wow. Is that what we're talking about?
Pretty much, yeah. And you see this in how he approaches, like, these huge issues. Climate change.
Okay.
Electric cars. Boom. Solved.
Okay.
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Develop it faster. Don't worry about the ethics. Even population.
Yeah.
He's got opinions about who should have kids.
It's like he bypasses...
He does.
...the democratic process. Yeah. It's like, trust me, I'm an engineer. I know best.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a bold stance to take.
It is bold.
Don't you think?
And this is where it gets kind of concerning.
Okay.
Because part of this is, like, a distrust of regular people, of democracy.
Interesting.
Yeah, the sources pick up on that. It's like,
what, the masses are
too slow, too emotional, too easily swayed.
To make the right decision.
Like that line from The Simpsons.
What is it?
Don't blame me, I voted for Kodos.
Right.
Like...
regular people can't be trusted.
You can't trust them.
With the big decision.
I gotta leave it to the brilliant few.
The brilliant few.
And that's, funny in a cartoon.
Yeah.
But in real life,
It's not so funny.
not so funny.
No, it's kind of dangerous.
It undermines the whole idea that power should be with the people, not just a small group.
No matter how smart they are.
No matter how smart.
I get why it's appealing, though.
Always.
Right? Like, the world is messy.
Yeah.
It's chaotic. It's uncertain. And then you've got someone like Musk.
Confident.
Yeah.
Bold.
Grand vision.
And it's like, he's got the answers.
Maybe he does.
Maybe he does. But that's why we got to be critical.
We got to think critically.
Yeah, what are the underlying assumptions?
Yeah.
Motives. Who benefits from this?
Yeah, who'll benefit? Who gets left behind? Because if we just blindly accept these solutions...
From the tech saviors.
Are we giving up our ability to shape our own future?
100%. These sources are a call to action.
A call to action.
We have a role
in creating
the future.
Okay, wow. We covered a lot. Business tactics, political maneuvering, these philosophical ideas.
Techno-elitism.
Techno-elitism, yeah. And the role of technology in society. We just scratched the surface.
I think we did. But the Elon Musk story
is not over.
But far from over.
Yeah.
He's powerful. His influence is growing. So whether you love him or hate him, you can't ignore him.
No, you can't. So what will he do next? How will he use that power?
Right.
And how will we respond?
That's the big question.
These sources.
Oh, they gave us
more questions.
More questions than answers.
Than answers.
Yeah.
But that's what a deep dive is all about, right?
Exactly. Spark that curiosity.
Yeah.
Challenge those assumptions. Give you the tools to think critically about the world.
All right, folks. That's it for today's deep dive. Until next time, stay curious out there.